Welcome to EQ Live. Tonight is not a feel-good fitness chat. This one is going to sting if you're truly honest with yourself. Tonight, I'm joined by two people who have actually built the bodies, the discipline, the habits, and the businesses to back up what they say. My lovely wife, Dekel, Bowflex Barbie and IFBB Figure Pro and owner of Bowflex Barbie Fitness, and my brother-in-law, D'Amico Nesbitt, founder of The Fitness Connection, and Timor, the big back brontosaurus. Tonight, we're breaking down health, fitness, and performance, and we're not pulling any punches. Here's what most people miss. This conversation is not just about how you look. It's about how you operate, how you show up at work, how you show up for the people you love, how you lead, how you handle stress, and how you perform under pressure. Your health is really the foundation underneath every single thing that you do in your life is built on. And if that foundation is cracked, that means everything built on top of it is shaky. If you've been chasing fitness goals for years and still look the same, still feel the same, and still operate at the same low energy, tonight is for you. We're exposing the lies, the excuses, and the habits that have kept you stuck. And we are giving you the truth about what it actually takes to change in the gym and in your life. So before we start, ask yourself one question. Are you ready for the truth? Let's get into it. Welcome to EQ Live. Family!
What's good?
Hello.
How y'all doing tonight?
Good, good. I've been trying to think of my insults, you know.
Yeah. Well, I know, obviously, my audience, if they follow me, they're familiar with you guys. But for those who may be tuning in, who may not really be familiar, maybe somebody shared the flyer with them, just introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you, your background, and what qualifies you to be on EQ Live tonight to talk about health, fitness, and performance.
Okay. So my name is Dekel Quant. Let me look at you or look at my camera.
You can look at me.
Okay.
I mean, I can look at you.
You know
anyway.
me.
So talk to the people.
My name is Dekel Quant, also known as Bowflex Barbie. I am the wife of Ethan Quant. I am the sister also of D'Amico Nesbitt. And he's actually the reason why I got into fitness 18 years ago, which is crazy to say. 18 years ago. And yeah, I mean, fitness has been a part of my life since then. I was 14. And of course, my journey has evolved. But I think that foundation at a young age really gave me the discipline and the love for it, learning how to, how my body responds to training, what works for me, and adapting as I got older as well has been a big thing. I work with women and men in my brand, Bowflex Barbie Fitness. I do online coaching, in-person coaching. I have a fitness app, and my mission through fitness is really just to help as many people connect to fitness and have their lives change in a positive way, just like mine was changed at 14, whatever that looks like for them.
Awesome. You go.
And I'm D'Amico Nesbitt, like mentioned. Dekel is my little sister. And both, what she didn't mention, both of our parents are Hall of Fame athletes. So we were playing sports all of our life, always into health and fitness, and had that discipline of being basically involved in business early on as well. Yeah. My business is the Fitness Connection. We're the leading supplement, health, and wellness supplier in the Bahamas. And I've been in business now for over 15 years.
Wow, we sound old.
Over 15 years. But our mission is to help people be the best version of themselves through health and wellness. So that's what we're here for.
Awesome, awesome.
We sound so nice. But you thought we going to mash corn.
Yeah, man. So. Sometimes you have to do that to tough love.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, the reality is that we're speaking truth, right? Yeah. And I mean, honestly, like I think what we're going to cover tonight are conversations that I've had myself. I mean, coming from being over 306 pounds to winning Mr. Bahamas to now stopping competing, putting a lot of weight back on and slowly finding my way back. It's something, so I know what I have had to do and what I continue to do to get in better shape than I ever was. And it's a journey, but I had to have those real hard conversations with myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to kind of lead off the conversation with what would you say is the biggest lie you hear from people about why they cannot get in shape? And what does that lie actually say about the rest of their life? Like I talked about lies that I used to tell myself.
That's a
But
heavy question.
That's an easy one.
It's heavy though.
Easy one is I don't have time.
Time.
That's the biggest lie people tell themselves in general, but fitness is just one area. I don't have time.
Mm-hmm.
If you was to total up time you spend on the phone, time you spend doing other stuff, you can find a little 30 minutes, a little 45 minutes somewhere to put that workout in. But if it's, you have to ask yourself, is that a priority of mine?
Mm-hmm.
Do I not really want to as much, or would it be great? No, it'd be great if I have a nice body, but I think I like cake and pizza a little more, you know what I mean? So I think that's the biggest one.
Yeah, time for sure. Yeah, I would say some people would argue they don't have the resources as well. Sometimes I can't afford the optimal thing, which may be a membership somewhere. I can't afford, a monthly supplement stack. I can't afford a trainer. But we know that that's also a lie because there's so much free today. Yeah.
You say, get your big back up, go outside and do some jumping jacks. Go run around your block. You can do that. Go watch some YouTube at home for free and do those workouts. Bowflex Barbie Fit TV.
On
you can do that for free.
Yeah.
Stop making those excuses.
But it's something and why I can say that is because I remember I always used to tell myself the road is free, right? And I believe in building capacity. Mm-hmm. And so, I agree. And we literally had the conversation this morning about this all or nothing thinking, right? Like because I can't afford to go to the gym and I can't spend 2 hours a session and I can't afford a personal trainer, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
But there's still so much that you can do, right? So we know that you there's so much that you can do. So what actually can you do? If somebody is like, okay, well, like really what's the least amount that somebody could actually start doing something with? What does it actually take to start?
I think sometimes we think about adding things, but sometimes with fitness, especially if it's weight loss, is what can I take away? What can I stop doing that's causing me to keep this weight or gain this weight? That could be the first step. So maybe it's, I like to go out and have a couple of drinks. Maybe it's a certain thing a treat that I overindulge in. Maybe it's, there's so much different things that you could just cut back on. Most of the time it's the calories, but so things that you could cut back on that will send you closer to your fitness journey. And sometimes you may not have to get the gym membership or do certain things once you get your diet and nutrition under control.
I would say the reverse of that. A lot of times people tend to go straight to, I need to cut out. I'm going to stop eating bread. I'm going to stop eating pasta. I'm going to stop eating. When sometimes the start could be, what am I going to actually add in? I'm going to add in 20 minutes of walking each morning. I'm going to add in 4 more glasses of water into my day. I'm going to start eating more greens or, what can you add in to your current routine? And then I think as you start to make healthier choices, it rewires your brain to think I'm not deprived right away at the beginning. And naturally, as you start to make healthier choices, you'll start to wean out the more unhealthy ones because you realize it's kind of counterproductive in the long run. But I think sometimes starting with the deprivation sets you up for failure because you feel depressed from the start. Like I have to now go without my favorite things. I can't have and you realize when people start, I think we all know someone that started a journey, or maybe you are that person that started a journey and we let everybody know, I can't eat this because I'm on this plan. I can't eat this because I'm doing this new thing. I can't eat this because I'm trying to lose whatever. But I think it's something that is rewired in the brain when you think of adding in healthier things instead of taking away right away. I think naturally you will have to start when you want to refine what it is you're doing. You're going to have to start taking out the unhealthy things. But at the jump, sometimes taking away could kind of set you up for a rougher start.
Yeah. Like what you say, it's not all or nothing. Like you don't cut everything out one time. Like, okay, if I eat just call it cake. If I eat my cake every day. Maybe I'll just eat it 3 days now.
I think
so it could be
cake.
It could be kind of
I think I
it's
want
just the
cake.
easiest example, right?
Cake.
When we say pizza, whatever it is, ice cream. So instead of having it so many times, maybe it's half of those times. Maybe it's every other day instead of every day.
Once a week
And then
instead
you
of
just,
multiple times a week.
Yeah, you guys should gradually drop it down.
Yeah, you know, I think like people always talk about, you know, your why, like why you doing it, right? And I think that's important, but I don't think the why is important. If that makes sense. Like people when I started,
what it actually
right?
is, you
Right,
mean?
like what it actually is. I think it needs to be important to the person. But I
Yeah.
think especially now with social media, they're like, oh well, you know, you need to get healthy for your kids, or you need to get healthy for, you know, longevity or whatever and all this stuff, right? Like when I started my journey, I really just wanted a six-pack, right? Like I was just literally tired of being fat and I wanted a six-pack because that's when I was single and, you know, you know, but
now you're married, you don't have to worry about that. Right?
Just
You
let
don't care no
myself
more.
go. Just let myself go. But one of the things was, but people would say that, okay, well, that's not a good enough reason, but it was a good enough reason for me. It was sheer vanity, right?
It got you started. It got you going.
And another thing was, I'll never forget, I was in my first business, my mortgage brokerage, and I was getting ready to do some work with a person. And I had asked her, like, you know, we met, I thought it went well and all this. And I keep in mind, at this point, I was 306 pounds. And I didn't get the deal. And I remember, you know, a little while later, I saw him and I was asking, like, it's like, why I didn't? He said, well, you know, you sounded good, but you were fat. And
I'm sorry.
why you laughing? This is my story. Why you laugh?
I'm so sorry. I wasn't expecting.
No, what he said
Is that the first
because
time you heard the story?
he said because you was big and fat, and he said because if you can't control
Okay.
what you put in your mouth,
I didn't hear this. Sorry.
how can you control my business? Like, how can you actually do the thing? And I thought about that, and I was like, wow. Now, that was one of the things that I was thinking about.
He would have got canceled in 2026.
Yeah, but, you know, this was 2012. Wow. So, but it was one of those things where, like, you kind of, you know, it was one of the harsh realities, right? But I want to talk about, because there are a couple of things that, you know, stood out that kind of reminds me of that.
What was the connection of that story?
The connection was that it's a true thing. Like, if you can't, why would you do business with somebody who can't control? Like, being able to control what you consume and get in physical fit, like real physical shape, is a sign of self-respect.
Okay.
Right? And so if you can't respect yourself enough to control what you're putting in your mouth, why would somebody want to do business with you? That was something that resonated with me, which led me to get on my fitness journey.
So you're saying your why, that was also connected to your why.
Right, because you thought about that. And
I was trying to connect how we got to that story from talking about your why. Okay.
Right. So that coupled with I wanted a six-pack and I started being fat.
And you wanted people to trust you doing business.
Right. You know, so, so when we talk about some of the other things that I guess people, I wouldn't say battle with, but, you know, some of the things that I hear is that your gym membership is not a personality trait. And just because you're showing up, it isn't the same as transforming.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
If you've been on a fitness journey for 5 years and look the same and feel the same, it's not a journey, it's a hobby. Most people don't actually want results. They want to identify as somebody who is trying. I am trying to do better. You ain't really want the results because you saying you want the results, you trying, but you still eating the cake and the pizza. The mirror is not lying. Stop blaming the lighting, the angle, and the camera. And this is the bigger one. The same person who can't finish a workout is the same person who can't finish a project at work, who can't follow through with their kids and loved ones, who can't keep their words to themselves. Fitness should be, fitness is and should be the first place that it shows up. And I think that's the real thing. Like if you, because along the lines that we say, okay, well, how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? And if that is in fact true, if you can't stick to a fitness program, if you can't, commit to yourself, if you can't say, okay, well, I can get up and go out and actually keep that commitment to yourself, then the question is really how are you showing up in other areas of your life? That's, I guess, what that point is. What do you all think about that?
I had so much points go through my head as you was talking. But one that's top of mind as you finish is that I spoke to my team about this. When you set a goal for yourself, or you said, I'm going to do this thing, or I'm this person, and you don't show up, or you fall short, each time you do that, you lose a little bit of self-confidence.
Yeah.
So if I say I'm someone who's disciplined, I'm going to show up to the gym 3 times this week and get this workout, and then you sleep past your alarm, or you're too tired, or you don't do it, then you lose a little self-confidence. So like you said, when you go into work, or when you tell your wife, I'm going to do X, Y, Z, I'm going to plan this thing, I'm going to do all that, then you know that you're the person who doesn't do what they say that they're going to do. Yeah. And every time you do that in one area, it still spills over to the other, because that's your self-confidence that goes all over, not just in fitness, but in business and in your home life as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think it comes down to, like you said, if you're breaking the promises you keep to yourself, like how can anyone in any other area of your life expect you to uphold the promises you make and the commitments you make to them? And I think, I mean, it's hard. I feel like we all know people that have been at it for 5+ years. And I sometimes like to defend them in a way by saying we don't know what their situation would look like if they weren't still showing up. Maybe they would be regressing and not progressing. Maybe they do want to just feel like they're trying. Maybe they do want to do it just to move and feel accomplished. Maybe they aren't actually chasing a physical transformation. We don't know everyone's story, medical history and stuff too. So I try to give grace in that area, but also the bodybuilder in me knows when I see people training hard, obviously look like they're working towards something, but you know that there's a gap somewhere, whether it's most likely in nutrition, most likely in recovery. Something is lacking to where I can see them working hard consistently in the gym. They're showing up, not just, resting on machines and chatting, but they're actually working, but the physical results aren't showing up, then there's some gap that obviously that I probably can't see. And again, that probably is likely in nutrition, rest, maybe supplementation as well.
But I mean, all right, so, barring those people with those extenuating circumstances, right? Like, we understand that, okay.
Not the outliers.
Right, we understand that sometimes, but I'm talking about the people who every January they say, I'm going to get this. And, they buy all the clothes, they get all the gym membership, they get all the tennis. And
they make us plenty of money.
Yeah. but only for things.
But salespeople, when they come in, get them everything. But while they're in the mood. And then they just stop.
I think that's the reliance on motivation. Like, it feels good, it feels right at the beginning of the year. We feel like that's when we should transform our whole lives, right? But they spend a lot of effort and energy, or they get wrapped up in that. I'm motivated, I'm ready, I'm excited, I'm hyped. It's a new year. I'm going to do things better. I'm going to be better. And then they don't take the time to build a habit. And then the discipline is never built. And so that they end up in that cycle. I'm going to not start again until I feel excited, motivated again, maybe around summer, around my birthday. And it's like a continuous loop for a lot of people.
All right, so now talking about some training myths that need to die, right?
Need to die.
And so the goal for this segment is we want the experts, that's you all, to kind of dismantle bad information. So things like when we hear, okay, well, you don't need a 6-day split. You actually need to finish the workout that you start. Cardio is not the enemy, and lifting is not optional. Stop picking a team. Toning is not a thing. You're either building muscle or you're not. If you can scroll between your sets, you're not training. You're decorating the gym. Training is not about the gym.
I had that experience today.
What, somebody was...
This lady was on the I had Dr. Machine always take long to become open, and she was sitting there full blown conversation
On phone.
on this machine. I was like, come on the phone. Anyway, sorry.
Oh, that's just poor Jamaica.
It was very poor, but she was older, so I
couldn't rough up it.
no, not too much.
Training is not just about the gym. It's a rehearsal for life. The discipline you build under the barbell is the same discipline you bring into the boardroom, a marriage, or a deadline. So, the question here for our experts is, what is...
That was a lot of myths.
Yeah, and we could discuss them, but what is the worst training advice you see being repeated, and how does that bad advice actually carry over into how people approach the rest of their lives? So what is the worst training advice you see being repeated?
Training, I mean, I'm not big on the training space, but when people come in, we talk to clients, one is, okay, they want to lose weight. So I want to lose the weight before I start the gym. I mean, I will lose the weight before I start lifting weights. Put it that way. When I say the gym, I mean the weight part. They might do the cardio, so they will run the street, run the treadmill. I'm going to lose 100 pounds, and then I'm going to start
and then tone it up.
lifting weights after.
Right.
Yeah, because I don't want my fat to turn to muscle.
What? Okay, so
that's why they're fat. They don't want their fat. If you're big, which is a myth, if you're big and you lift weights, your fat then transforms into muscle. And they don't
but
want
why
that.
Is that a bad thing? Because they think they can just be big.
No, because they're already big. They're already 300
They don't want to be
pounds.
big
Right. And then as you build muscle, you just especially if you're a female. They
So
don't want
now
to look
all
like
of the big fluffy fat is going to turn into hard muscle.
They're gonna be.
And it'll still be.
They're gonna look hulked out.
But okay, so let's educate the people then, because if your fat doesn't turn into muscle, what exactly does lifting weights what actually does lifting weights do to the body?
So when you lift weights, you exert energy, so you use some calories. So it's going to help you on your weight loss journey by helping you use some of that energy. And then when you build muscle, you also change the amount of calories that your body uses on a daily basis, because you have more muscle, you're going to be using more calories as well. Also, the aesthetic benefits of, as you lose some of the fat, you're going to keep some of that tightness. So instead of your skin sagging as you lose the weight, it's going to be nice and firm as well. Why are you laughing? Nice and firm as well. I think that's
you had
the
the giggle
benefits.
juice today.
Because when you did that, I thought about the bat wings. I had a teacher in high school that I had
There's no call teacher. But that's what happens if you lose a lot of weight sometimes.
you
especially
have
here,
that loose skin.
loose skin, and a lot of people scared of that. So a good way to combat that is to build some muscle, which is toning, because toning is simply
I hate that word.
more muscle and less fat. So your muscles are firmer and more toned than before. It was just building muscle with a different term.
Yeah, you said you hate toning, because I know when I was in the fitness space, I used to say it all the time, especially from women.
It's a marketable term, and I am guilty of using it as well, because it is.
Tone and tighten.
Women like to hear it. They don't like to hear build lean muscle, which is essentially what toning is. And you cannot build muscle, like Miko said, you can't turn your fat into muscle. You have to lose fat and build muscle, which you can do, which is what we call body recomp now, body recomposition. So some people can technically dedicate time to focusing on getting their weight down and then on building, but it's optimal to do it together so you don't have that and increased likelihood of loose skin. And you have the benefit, like Miko said, if you're in a deficit already, you're exerting more energy than you're taking in, you're going to lose weight as well. But I like to say weight loss will give you the number, will give you the number on the scale, and the cardio will give you a number on the scale. The lifting will give you the look. Having the muscle will give you the actual look and the shape that you want. I don't know. I think a myth that Miko said you have to lose first and then build, but I think there's a big myth that as soon as I start lifting, if I lift too much, I'm going to automatically have capped delts. My upper body, a lot of women like to say my upper bodies get bulky fast. And I'm like, let me see. Because what's probably happening is genetically, which is for a lot of women, we hold our weight in our hips. We store weight in our legs, our lower body. And our upper bodies tend to lean out faster. So when we lose weight, whether that's through cardio and lifting, we tend to see more visible muscle that probably was already there before they started lifting, a lot of it. Because in 1 to 2 months, you're not going to build a crazy amount of muscle. But that scares them when they start to see a little more definition in the upper body. They think I'm bulking up, I'm getting big. But unless you were eating in a surplus and lifting extremely heavy to actually intentionally build muscle, like that's not what's actually happening. Now, if you could say you don't prefer that look, but then that's just a manipulation of diet and body fat, not necessarily I need to throw away lifting weights, because we need weight lifting, yes, for the aesthetic side, but also when we talk about if your why is to have a quality of life where you're able to be independent and function at your, at an optimal level, you need to be lifting. Muscle is now being seen as like the most important thing in the longevity studies. So, I hate when people are like, I'm scared to essentially to look like me, but that's okay. I get it. They're like, I don't want this much muscle. I'm like, I promise you, I intentionally have built this much muscle. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't like I started 3 weeks ago and I accidentally did it. But I think that's a big myth. And the all or nothing mindset, like you said, if I can't go 5 days a week, I don't want to go at all. I have to be going 5 days. I have to be going 6 days, 7 days in order to see results. Like, no.
I think too, like, a big part of it is just education, right? Like understanding and learning what it is. I mean, first of all, I think one of the biggest changes for me on my fitness journey was when I realized that there's a difference between weight loss and fat loss. And when you focus on, and I think when people, and it's just been my understanding that when the average person, especially in the Bahamas, say they want to lose weight, they actually mean they want to lose fat. Right? And, one of the things that was a game changer for me was understanding and learning that actually building lean muscle burns fat. And so when you look at, okay, well, the difference between fat loss and weight loss and the things that you need to do to actually focus on fat loss, which is lifting lean muscle mass, eating a proper a balanced nutrition based on what it is that your goals are.
Enough protein,
prioritizing protein, things like that, not cutting out carbs, not doing excessive cardio. Like when you realize that, okay, well, that's fat loss, then I realized then for me, that was a game changer, right? And so now, because even, understanding that kind of explains why if women hold most of their fat in their lower body and they start working out, they're getting leaner and toned. What's actually happening is that you're burning fat. And then also that leads to the next understanding that, okay, well, body composition, like body fat is the real enemy, not the weight. Because you can have somebody who is 200 pounds with a 22% body fat, male, and he would look completely different at 200 pounds and 10% body fat. And then you'll have a woman 160 pounds with 25% body fat who will look completely different at 16 to 18% body fat at the same weight. And so I think really as persons in the fitness community, we need to really educate, like focus on the education of people so that they don't say stuff like, oh, I don't want to turn my muscle into fat. And be like, whoop. But I just thought that was interesting, and like for me that was the biggest thing, like just getting educated and understanding how the body actually works. I got a real question on. I heard something the other day, but I don't know if it's true.
The questions was
like when you lose fat, like you're building. What has actually happened to the fat? Like this ain't like a trick question or nothing. Like,
your body expels it.
How?
Through all the ways that your body gets rid of waste.
Ask ChatGPT.
Breathing. I saw a video the other day that actually said most of it is lost through carbon dioxide.
Right, that's what I
don't know if that's true. I feel like you excrete it.
I thought it used to come out as pee.
Where does fat go when you lose it?
Relax, ChatGPT on live.
When you lose fat, you mostly breathe it out.
Really?
The body breaks stored fat down for energy. During that process, fat is converted mainly into carbon dioxide,
Yeah.
breathed out through your lungs. This is where most of your fat leaves the body. The second part is water that leaves to sweat, urine, breath, and other fluids.
That's interesting. I mean, if you
Very
think about it,
interesting.
like when you
Would
burn
it make
stuff.
sense?
Yeah,
Whatever.
think about it. If you burn
A pile of
garbage.
garbage. Yeah.
what has happened to the garbage? It is going to the atmosphere.
So
Okay.
all the fat people in the gym.
You need to breathe. Just breathe more.
Yeah.
But to add to what you say earlier, lifting weights is also more fun. If you're just doing cardio, to me, it's not a fun work. I got to mix up with
Because I don't
different
like
stuff.
cardio, so.
No, I don't do cardio.
No, but I think the main thing is, and I remember Kelly, you had shared this a while back. Like my whole thing is just find something that you
Work for it.
enjoy.
Yeah,
Right? Like-
I think you find what you enjoy, but also on your fitness journey, you need all the elements, right? You need the cardiovascular, you need the resistance, and you need the flexibility and mobility. And so I think it's important to find what you enjoy to be the foundation, but you also need elements of those other pockets on, if you're looking at fitness from a holistic standpoint, and even for your personal goals.
That is the truth. Because before, I was all muscle. And I started getting a little stiff hip and back issues.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they have a thing called hip mobility. I didn't know about that. Let me go research some of that. They started doing the stretches, and now I was like, okay, I had to walk up the stairs just now. I feel a little out of breath. I haven't done cardio in a while, so now I'm considering even like high rocks. I know you're saying the high rocks workout, but where it's like,
You consider an high rock?
yeah,
You consider
I
high
pushed some
rocks
stairs
what?
this morning.
I saw.
Okay, that's good cardio.
I saw that on Instagram. I was
Yeah.
like, I like that.
I saw a video today. This girl was like, she did it, and she's saying, that's the army training disguise. They training them for the military.
This guy is high rock.
But I think it's good
Yeah.
sometimes just to switch your workout up and have something more interesting. Because I've been lifting weights for so long. It's like
Yeah.
some of the targets that I want to bench 365 pounds. I want to squat. I didn't did that. So now it's like, hey, I want to do like a high rocks, or I want to do something
different
else
challenge,
and
yeah.
accomplish something. Yeah,
Something
so,
to work towards.
Exactly.
All right, so to that point,
I want to talk about something else.
What
Could
you
you
wanna
skip
talk-
over it?
What?
When the man call you fat.
right?
I think that's important.
Okay,
I mean, I was to your aunt seminar, Alice.
right.
And she had a bunch of speakers. We were talking about health and fitness and what really got them motivated. 3 out of the 5 speakers had a moment just like that where someone told them something, you
Called
getting
them
fat, and it embarrassed them, and they remember that years later. And that was also the reason they made that change. You just gave an example too. That business person told you, Ethan, you fat, that's why I didn't give you this money.
Right.
And that stuck with you. That's why you still remember that now.
Yeah.
And that was part of what motivated you to make that change. So sometimes we do need that tough love. We do need someone to call us a big back brontosaurus and let that stick. So you know, okay, I really need to make this change. I'm looking at myself now, and hey, some of what he's saying is true. Like, it's true.
See, I think that's the ultimate thing, right? I think just being truthful with
Yeah.
yourself, right? Like if you really sit down and you are honest with yourself as to why you are, and it isn't just with, health and fitness, it's really with life. Like you are exactly where you are in life because of all of the choices that you have made to date, right? Good or bad. All of the experiences you are a sum of your decisions. And nobody is at fault for where you are. So if you are big and fat, but the thing is, I think the biggest thing for me is the ones who, like, if you're happy in your body, then my thing is get healthy. Like you want to get healthy, right?
Yeah, healthy.
And so I don't think everybody needs to be walking around with a 6-pack and this, that, and next. I don't believe that. But I do believe that you should be healthy enough to do stuff, right? But it's like, I think if most people were to sit down and realize that, and this is primarily for y'all out there who saying y'all want different, but y'all ain't doing different, right? I think you have to sit down and be honest with yourself. And hopefully it doesn't have to get to the point where somebody has to call you fat.
Yeah.
Because you are honest with yourself enough. When you look in the mirror, you fat. Like I am okay. Why you keep laughing?
I'm sorry.
You
That's
can't relate.
That's your biggest supporter right there. Let me know. Biggest supporter.
Boy, I tell you. But I think that's important. Like you just have to be truthful with yourself. And if you look at yourself naked in the mirror and you don't like what you see, accept that, okay, well, this is where I'm at. But I also have the power and control to make it different.
Yeah.
Right?
A treat.
You know, and I think that's
And right now, people are super nice. Everybody's nice, and it's great. It's great to have the body positivity and all of that. But
Nobody
sometimes you
wants to
just
get
need the
canceled.
truth. Yeah, no one wants to get canceled. So
canceled.
all your friends will tell you, and then sometimes
I
don't
know.
want to stray too far.
Our
Right?
culture, we typically tell you. In our culture, you don't think so?
yeah,
People,
yeah. Our Bahamians
we
will tell
learn.
you about
Old people, but not young people. Old people are people you cool. Like, old people tell you straight up, you getting fat. What happened to you? If you like, how we on the show, like,
let you grab you and see you in the little
I say,
while.
Kel, you know, you getting a little, I might say on the side, but I ain't gonna know.
Right.
Not okay. Yeah.
I say, Kel, you getting fat. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna do that.
Boy, yeah.
But we need to need some truth.
Bahamians
We
will
tell
tell
people
you.
to be honest.
I went to boat. when I went to boat, I have my bonus card. Now, it wasn't that, honestly, it's 2 weeks apart from
Yeah, man.
a month.
Come on.
So I think it was something with the camera. It really did slender my face.
It was nice, it was a nice contour.
Right, you know. but-
Lighting.
So I presented my bonus card to go vote. And the older lady said, boy, you look different. The young girl said, yeah, he got fat. And I was like, but it was a month ago and I actually lost 5 pounds. I was just like, anyway, I know it's a picture, but no, I just say that to say like, I think Bahamians would tell you.
Yeah, I mean, and I honestly, I experienced it when I was younger on both ends because I was always skinny.
Yeah.
And they'll tell you on both sides, oh, you bony, you skinny,
Yeah,
you need to go you eat some burgers or whatever. No, put on some weight, what happened to you?
They ain't
No.
feeding you. I don't want me.
Yeah, so all of that, no.
But all right, so let's talk about that a little bit, right? Because you know that we talked about the body positivity and loving the skin you're in and this, that, and next, right? And the fact that now, especially in 2026, we talk about getting canceled and all this stuff. If you go to somebody because you have to be politically correct, you can't just call somebody fat in their face and be like this, that, and next. However, people could come to the Kel, a fit person, and be like, oh well, all you do is go to the gym all day. And if she was to go to a fat person and
That's a
say,
nice
all you
one.
do is sit down and
eat.
all day, like that would be wrong. But isn't it the same?
Oh,
Isn't that a double standard?
That's a gem. Like, I've been in public places. I've had people come up, like, not come up to me, but like walk close enough to me where I could see them. They could see me. I was in a store the other day, and this group of girls saw me. They stopped. The other one tapped, and she said, "That's how you working out? That's how you trying to be?" And she said, "Oh no, not all of that." And they kept walking, and I'm like, "Do they know that I can see them?
No, I can see you. I can hear you."
And I'm like, okay. And then you have people, men will be like, you was beat man, come fight me, come wrestle me. And it's like, okay. Like, but if I walk up to the same group of girls and said, I want to get this big. Oh, I don't want to look like this.
No.
That would be,
no.
I would,
They'll
it
fight
would be
you now.
fighting words. So, but I think it's, I don't know.
I think it's the punching up versus punching down, right?
Yeah.
It's like how broke people could talk, but must be nice. You get to travel and you can do first class and this, that, and next, and you know they
Yeah,
can
but
punch
like-
up and talk about.
But you can't turn up your
My
nose.
sock.
You
Oh.
can't close the curtain on them.
but isn't it the same thing, right? Like
Yeah,
the
essentially.
the
I
have-nots
guess.
can always speak down to the haves. Because I guess they feel that it levels the playing field or whatever. But I mean, if we are saying that wrong is wrong, then wrong is wrong.
Yeah,
Right? But I just think the reality of the society in which we live is that, you know, fit shaming is a thing, and it's more readily acceptable because
So you're saying we need to increase fat shaming to level it out.
What I'm saying is we need to just stop.
Just
That's essentially what y'all said. Fat shaming, bring back fat shaming.
double standards
Because
exist.
I'm just saying, yeah, double standards
They
exist and they are
where
wrong.
you just said people had life transformations from
Yeah,
fat shaming.
I think you need to be honest with people. They just need to
I
be
think
real.
honesty. I think
Listen.
honesty.
If your friend is getting fat, I want you to pick up your phone and send them a text or send them a voice note. Let me say this for you. Be like this. Hey, friend. I can tell you this because I really care about you. I think you're getting a little bit overweight. And I know I'm concerned about your health and your quality of life. And I want to be the one, because I'm such a good friend, to tell you maybe it's time for a change. And just know that I'm here to support you in whatever ways you need to make that change.
Yeah, but then that gonna be the same friend on Sunday they out over PI, the brunch, eating up all the things and drinking up all the things.
Just say, friend, this backside getting a little wide. It's time to rein it on in.
All right, I'll go find an old picture
Friend.
of last year. You
Friend, we
see
need to
how
start
small you
working
was
out.
last year?
Friend, when you start in the gym again, things drop the hints.
But sometimes you need that raw, real honest, someone who really,
Yeah.
they're not doing it with evil intent.
With bad intent. I
but
think
they
that's
really
the,
do care about you being your best self.
Yeah, I think that's the foundation. You can't do it from a place of
Malice. and-
malice
yeah.
and ill intent. Yeah.
All right, so now let's talk a little bit about, because one of the things is that, they say this thing is 100%. Like, of your success really depends on how we get this thing in order, which is your nutrition, right? So nutrition, reality check. Couple of things that, I guess reality checks. You're not big boned. You're overfed and undermoved.
Wow.
Protein shakes don't fix bad meals. I eat clean usually means I have no idea what I eat. Alcohol in the weekend is undoing 5 days of discipline. Pick a side. What you eat is what you become. That 2 p.m. crash, the brain fog in meetings, the irritability with your family, the lack of patience with your team, that's not personality, that's nutrition. You are literally eating away out at your potential. So the question is, if somebody could change one thing about how they start eating tomorrow, what would it be? And how fast would they feel the change in their work and energy levels? So we're talking nutrition now.
I think for one, eating more whole foods.
What is whole foods?
Whole foods is less processed, so less
Not processed. Yeah.
processes they put the food through. Okay, I'm gonna get my raw potatoes and just cut them up and boil them. It's not the box potatoes that's already been processed. If you look at the ingredients, it's 10 things in there that they add to the potatoes. It's not the raw stuff.
Not the
Whereas
box
if you
mashed
make it home, you
potato.
put in potatoes, salt, maybe milk, butter, whatever. No, that's the raw ingredients, less stuff in it.
So more whole foods.
More whole foods help, and then less sugar. I think that's low-hanging, easy stuff. Less sugar. Cut out I know we call brands that, but some of the sweet drinks, those 40 grams of sugar drinks that sometimes people drink 2 of those a day.
And the daily recommended sugar is 30.
Yeah, so one drink, one malt beverage could put you over that sugar limit for the day.
Yeah, but then I don't even think people know exactly what they eat, what they're consuming. Because you're
don't
talking
check
about
labels.
like that, like reading labels. I don't think most people understand that, because that was something that I guess was enlightened to as well, is that, when you eat a bag of chips, it's like, it's saying, okay, well, it's 200 calories per serving, but the damn bag got 12 servings and you eating the whole bag, right? Like, so stuff like that, just understanding what it is that you're putting in. But all right, so Migo, you said eating more whole foods. That's something that if they do. What say you?
Let me go take out 2 of my answers.
What
No,
two
you could
you say
elaborate on
eating
sugar.
I wanted to do, whole foods, cutting out as much processed stuff as possible. So things in packages, stuff with high sodium, a lot of preservatives, when you look at the back of the label, a lot of ingredients that you probably cannot pronounce. That means it is likely more processed. If it has a expiration date far from when you purchase it, that means it is likely very processed. And then, yeah, the sugar thing, again, because sugar, especially when you talk about like brain fog and crashing, sugar is going to take you up and then like really cause that crash to be more volatile than it should
Yeah,
be.
but I don't eat a lot of white sugar. So what are you talking about?
What do you mean white sugar?
Where am I eating
Processed sugar. Yeah, sugar naturally occurring in stuff. So even you look at glycemic index foods that cause that are high on the glycemic index that cause the insulin spikes, that's what causes the spikes and the crashes.
Sorry, and so a lot of times it's ignorance, because just like how you said, I've had customers, I cut out sugar, and he's put honey in the tea now.
Honey is sugar.
I'm like, that's still sugar. So if it's not the white powder in the thing, I don't use sugar, I use agave or maple syrup
fruits
there's sugar. Alternative, but a lot of them still have sugar in them. So you're still just consuming the sugar in a different form. Now, sugar from the fruits that also have fiber, better.
The benefit, yeah.
Yeah, but if you eat them in excess, you're still getting that same amount of sugar.
Yeah.
But that's why I say I think that there needs to be education, right? Because when you say cut out sugar,
I didn't say
like,
out all the completely.
no, but when
cut
I'm
back.
saying cut back on sugar,
Yeah.
the first thing because this is something that I literally did at 306 pounds, they say same thing. I know that they say you got to cut out sugar. I thought I was cutting out sugar, so I take the white sugar and I throw it in the garbage. I ain't eating no more sugar.
Mm-hmm.
But I still wasn't losing weight because I still had the ketchup. I still was drinking the sodas. I still was doing all this stuff.
Oh.
And so that's why I say, like, I think education is our biggest, I guess, weapon. Just really focusing on the individual educating themselves to understand that, okay, when you say you cut out sugar, like, understand that honey is still sugar, agave is still sugar. There's sugar in the drinks
or
that
just,
you
just
eat,
being
the fruits.
aware, because like Mika said, and we're not saying you have to go on a sugar-free lifestyle change. You're going to have sugar naturally occur in some of the stuff you may be eating, or just be mindful of the amounts. You know, if you're having a full sugar soda, you still having sauces and stuff with sugar in them, just be mindful of how much of those things you're taking in, opposed to cutting them out completely.
No, crab salad has sugar in it, like crab meat, the imitation crab.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until I was doing like prep. When I started the imitation crab, you look at the facts, you're thinking, okay, it's going to be a bunch of protein. It's like 6 grams of sugar for every serving in that crab meat.
And how much servings come in one?
I don't know the serving, but it has sugar in it. That's the point. So sugar is hidden in a lot of stuff.
I put sugar in my crab salad when I make it.
I add a little bit, let's sprinkle to it. No, make it taste better, but it already comes with sugar. That sweet taste, because it's really fish that they make in the crab. So they add the sugar to make it, I guess, sweeter meat.
So it tastes like crab.
I said to say, the only way I was able to know that was through using like the MyFitnessPal app and actually scanning the food and checking the calories and looking for sugar. So I think it'd be a good practice, and when information is widely accessible, those apps are free.
Yeah.
Just take like 2 weeks and scan everything that you eat. Just look it up, see how much sugar. I was surprised at like barbecue sauces. I didn't realize it had that much sugar. Like simple stuff, milk has sugar. Like, I think, milk is protein, that's what's in our brain, but when you actually look at it, this have a lot of sugar in it, a good bit of sugar in it, depending on which brand you get.
I think I'll tell, especially in Bowflex, I'll say cut out fast food. Like, cut out fried food, easy.
No, that's who have the most Wendy's per capita.
Yeah, our Wendy's is do good. Anyway, we live here. He's going to say, Chris, cut that out. We ain't calling it live. We live.
Sponsor on next episode.
Can't go too much in on... but I think even that, like, it comes down to what your goal is, and if you are on a serious, you want to be healthy, you want a fitness journey, health journey, really looking at reducing those things as much as you can. So, like, instead of going for fast food every day, once a week maybe, like, because let's be real, people that essentially, a lot of people are addicted, have food addictions. Like, I think genuinely a lot of people have food addictions. And so cutting it out completely is not a realistic thing.
But, I mean, so that's something else too that I realized that, because I used to have a very unhealthy relationship with food as well, right? Like, I think our relationship with food is something. But I also think that, and this is something that helped me, and even when I was in the space, I used to help some of my clients with, is understanding that there's a difference between eating healthy and eating for your goals. right? And I think if you're eating for your goals, right? Like, first of all, you got to have goals. You got to know what it is that you're doing. Because one thing is, like, people would say, okay, well, low carb or lower moderate carb, high protein, like a standard bodybuilding diet would be different than somebody who is trying to train for a marathon, right?
Yeah.
If you want to get and run, like your nutritional needs would be different,
Yeah.
right? And so I think, just finding alignment and that's what I always say, your training should be in alignment with your nutrition, which should be in alignment with your supplementation, which should be in alignment with your rest, right? But I mean, it's just very interesting because I think a lot of people have, especially in the Bahamas, we have a very unhealthy relationship with food, and the fact that it's so ingrained in our culture. Like we do everything around food. We celebrate when somebody get married, we eat food. Somebody birthday, we eat food. Somebody die, we eat food. Somebody get promoted, we eat food. Like we go to eat food.
It ain't just food. What else goes along with
Yeah,
the
food and drink.
Rum.
Right.
I don't think that's
all is
unique
rum.
to us, but I think it's what the food is that is so, I guess, that our culture influences as well. Because I think other cultures, Europe and the U.S., they are connected to, they gather with food. But I think our diet is so, our culture diet is culturally so unhealthy that is also what makes it.
Yeah, but I think American, but
more
even in
negative.
Europe, like they walk everywhere in Europe too.
Yeah,
Like,
even the quality
culture-
of their food and what it is they're eating is different.
Yeah, the Mediterranean diet and like those stuff.
It's different. They have a lot of vegetables and fresh things. And
Now, U.S. they fat too. But
Yeah, I was gonna say U.S. may not be
Europe,
the best.
Yeah.
Europe is healthier. No?
But you got some zones in the U.S. and places that are more healthy.
That's hilarious. All right, so we touched on the food thing. So let's talk a little bit about mindset and identity. So the goal here is to shift from tactics to deeper reasons why people fail. So thinking about discipline is not motivation. If you need to feel like it, you'll never do it. Your body is a receipt of your habits. Read it honestly. The people getting the results are not more gifted or have better genetics. They're done negotiating with themselves. You don't have a time problem. You have a priority problem. And the person you are in the gym, or the person you are in the gym is the person you are everywhere. If you quit when it gets hard at rep 8, you're quitting when it gets hard in business, in your marriage, and parenting. The gym is just where it becomes visible. So the question for our experts is, when did you personally stop making excuses, and what changed in every other area of your life because of it? Or you never used to make
I
excuses?
still make some excuses. I just make less of them.
Yeah.
I try to do them more often. Like I feel personally right now with my fitness journey, it's been switching to more, like I say, less of the muscle building and more the longevity stuff. So I felt like the muscle building sort of slacked off. So now I've been a little more intentional with that. A little more intentional with that as far as building some more muscle. And not for no reason, because like I'm saying, okay, maybe I want to get back to how I look in this picture. Or, okay, I'm going away to this place. I will take some pictures with my shirt off so I can make sure I think that's important to have that. But both Kel said it in one of her recent vlogs, and I said it in one of my videos too. Like every day you don't feel like going to the gym. If you go by how you feel, then you don't get to stick with those stuff. Sometimes you just go feeling down, feeling tired, didn't get enough sleep, just get something done. And sometimes that one set turns into 2, turns into 3, and you feel better afterwards because you still did something. And you keep that confidence we talked about earlier that you have in yourself that no matter what, I still show up. Because showing up is most of the battle. If you get in your car and drive to the gym or go wherever you work out, once you get there, you can do something. Even if you do 1 or 2 sets, say, I feel bad going home, you did something, and you keep that confidence with yourself that you show up no matter how you feel. I think that's important.
Yeah, anything to add to that?
What was the question again?
There isn't no
The
question.
breaking
We're
point
just talking
when
about
you
when you. Well, the
stop making
question was
excuses.
when you personally stop making excuses, and what changed in every other area of your life.
Like Miko said, I think
But like this, we come from a family where we don't make no excuses.
Period.
We've been taught to show up, discipline. We don't have no choice. When it's time to go pick up those 10, you couldn't lay in
A little
bed.
bit of trauma.
You couldn't lay in bed. You have to go and do the work. So that's spill over. If you know something needs to get done, you just get it done.
Just get it
So I
done.
think a lot of it,
A
not
lot of it is
seriously,
that, yeah.
a lot of it is bringing with hard work, discipline. My mom was a PE teacher. I played whatever sport they needed me to play. It wasn't if I felt like playing, I wanted to play. No, we need someone to go play baseball. I never had a baseball. I was up there swinging. so like you just show up and try, like just do it. Like that's a big part of it. Is how you were raised.
Yeah, I think also piggybacking off of when you said sometimes you show up, you don't feel like going, you show up anyway, and it gets better. I made a video a while back, and I was like, I had a day like that. I didn't feel like going. I got there. I didn't feel like being there. I did the whole workout. It never got better, and I went home. And I was like, the reality is sometimes you have days like that too. Like people are like, oh, the best workout is the only bad workout is the one that didn't happen. Like, no, sometimes you could go and have a bad workout, and that's okay. Like, but it happened. It got done at the end of the day.
And you kept your confidence in yourself that you show up.
I kept my promise to myself. And I think those days are what help you to push past the days where you're having bad work days. You have a deal that maybe didn't come through. You have a fire you're trying to put out. You realize, like I've conditioned my mind and my brain and my body to be in situations where it wasn't, like I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't fun, but I got it done.
Yeah.
And I'm okay. I didn't die.
I think so. I have another, I guess, perspective of that as well, because I think for me, like getting when I was competing, like that was the big thing for me, right? So I always had this goal that I could work towards. When I retired from competing, I was kind of lost because I was like, okay, well, I don't have this goal. It was always for aesthetics. And then I kind of fell, right? But I was still working out consistently, but out of habit more so, right? And I didn't really have much direction. I would say that in the last maybe 2 years, like I was like, okay, well, I can show up, but I still find myself still just showing up, but still not making the progress that I need to make, right? And I think that's where, like when we started the conversation, where we were talking about, okay, well, showing up isn't the thing, you aren't transforming. Like if you have this open and honest conversation with yourself, you realize, like I used to be like, oh, well, if the kid didn't want to go for dinner, and we don't go for dinner often, but I would say, oh, well, as soon as I get on my fitness journey, the kid won't go for dinner, and I am pizza lab eating pizza, right? Or I drinking, or I doing this, right? But reality is that the kid be on prep for 8 months of the year, so we ain't going out. So really. And so I say that to say, like, I got to a point where
That was
I
your
think
excuse.
showing up isn't enough if you're just showing up.
Yeah,
right?
I think
If
you can
that
go
is
through
now-
seasons of that.
Right.
Yeah,
And
that
I
was
know,
for me.
I know sometimes you're gonna do that, but like if all you're doing, like showing up isn't enough anymore.
Yeah.
Because if all you've been doing is showing up, like you said, you've been on this fitness journey for 5 years, showing up don't count. And so like I really had to, no, it
It's
don't.
not enough.
It's not enough.
Yeah, it
You
counts.
can't just
You
show
gotta
up.
show up.
Well, I'll disagree in this way, right? Sometimes we have seasons where we're talking about it as if fitness is the main thing. Like my life is centered around fitness. We know it could be other stuff. You could have stuff going on with your marriage. You could have health issues. You could have some personal, financial stuff you have to deal with. Where it might be, I'm just showing up to maintain. Like I know I might not be doing a change, but I don't want to fall back. I don't want to go the other way.
Mental
So
clarity to get through whatever's
Yeah,
going
that-
on.
yeah.
too.
Mentally,
this season of my life, okay, my goal is just maintain my fitness. So you might see that person be like, oh, they're in the gym, they ain't changing, but like we said, like they could be working on something else. Like I had some other period where like fitness wasn't I was also, only because I'm in the fitness business, I was working out. So I can't fall off.
You need to be visible.
Because everybody's let me know, oh, what happened to you? So I make sure I could stay out, but
That's that truth you need.
yes, my mind was on other stuff. Like working out was like sort of the least
Back
of my
burner,
worries.
yeah.
So I think it's important too to just, like you say, have it as a crutch, use it as fuel to keep your mind clear. Just sometimes you might be in that season of just maintaining, but making sure that you still do the healthy habits as far as your diet and those other stuff you can still maintain.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I.
Something on your eye.
Okay. All right. Solid. So now let's talk about performance over aesthetics, right? Looking fit and being fit are not the same thing. Can your body actually do anything? Longevity beats vanity. What good is a six-pack at 40 if you can't run with your kids at 50? Strength is the foundation. Mobility, endurance, energy, mental clarity are all built on top of it. The real ROI of fitness is not the way you look in the mirror. It's the energy you have at hour 12 of a workday. It's the focus you bring to high stakes meetings. It's the patience you have with your family and kids after a long day. It's the confidence when you walk into a room. That's what training actually buys you. High performers in business are not high performers by accident. They train their bodies because they understand the body is the engine that runs everything else. What does real performance look like at every stage of life, and how does training change the way someone shows up in their career, business, and for their family?
That's a good question, deep question.
Very deep.
But at every phase of life, everybody's life journey is different, but having, like you say, the physical transcends to the mental. So you work out, you get a clearer mind, you feel better, you deal with stress a little better. You also mentioned how your body looks dictates your confidence. Your confidence spills over into business, where you try to date, all of that, it affects as well. So I think it depends on where you're at, how that fitness journey really is going to affect your personal life.
Yeah, I think a big thing, we talk about longevity and functionality. Like, it's one thing to look fit. And like, as a bodybuilder, this may be a little stab in my own arm, but I've even been prioritizing more, there's more recovery, more mobility, as I venture onto the higher side of 30.
Knees popping.
Yeah, they've been popping. They look better now. I've been
just shake his head. You're talking about 30.
I've been focusing more on that now because while I think aesthetics are important, I don't think they ever become irrelevant. You want to feel good and you want to have a good-looking body, but you also want to feel good in it too. You want to be moving pain-free. You want to feel, like you said, when you get to the later years, you want to still be able to move around, be independent, have a high quality of life without as much medical intervention as possible. You don't want to be on a bunch of meds to regulate things or to be pain-free. So I think, that's an important thing to look at, having a well-rounded journey. I think the mental, like Miko said, is very important. There was a video I watched a while back where this girl was like, I don't trust people who don't work out because she can't date people that don't work out because how are you, like, what are you doing, like, to have a clear mind? Like, how are you regulating, like, your energy and, how are you getting through the day without some sort of physical activity? She didn't say, like, work, like gym workout, but they have to do some sort of physical activity to release those endorphins. Because she's like, you can be miserable, you can be, like, foggy, and I get that. I think that's a big part. And we always say you can't, if your health and your wellness, not even just fitness as well, if that is the foundation of from what you do everything else, you can't show up as your best in your household, in your workplace, if you are not taking care of the vessel that is doing the things in those spaces.
Yeah, no, I agree. All right, so, I got some questions for the audience.
You have questions for the audience?
Yeah, I got some questions for the audience. So, you who is watching this, what's the lie you've been telling yourself about why you're not in shape? What's that lie?
Oh, my genes or my family big. That's just my genetics.
Yeah, obesity runs in my family. If your doctor told you today that you had 6 months to fix your health or you would die, what would you change tomorrow morning? Who are you actually doing this for?
They stitching them up.
And
shut.
is it that reason strong enough to outlast a bad week? And the hardest one, how much better could your career, your business, your marriage, your parenting be if you operated at full capacity instead of half? Touching on this, guys, you know, they say that health is wealth. Tikel, Miko, I just want y'all, like, this is I want you to talk to the audience right now. Give them that one thing. This is like your that good friend, that co-op that you made earlier this evening. Like, somebody needs to hear something, right? What can you tell them to really, as a last ditch effort on your part, to just really tell them the hard truth about why they aren't where they want to be, because they want to be healthier, they want to be fitter, they want to have more, better performance, and really what they need to do right now. Like that one piece of it, like, let's go.
Well, I think it's important, like you mentioned just now, that a lot of people don't take it seriously until it's too late, until they go to the doctor and they get that news, hey, you had a minor stroke, you had this thing happen, and then they show up. They want the help then afterward, and sometimes it's a little late, and sometimes you have a opportunity. So if you've been putting it off, and you know that, you know, heart issues running in your family, or you might be prone to some of those heart diseases, then it might be a good idea to start incorporating some of those healthy habits. Get with a coach, get a program, have a doctor's visit, get someone to counsel you on the right track to start changing your health and fitness before it's too late.
Love that. Gal?
I would say start where you are with what you have. Don't overcomplicate it. If you are someone, I think a lot of us at some point, especially if you're an adult, you have been on some sort of health, fitness, wellness journey at some point. It's never a bad time to start, to restart, start again. I actually wrote this quote in my phone this week, and it says, I think a lot of people have shame around restarting. Sometimes they feel like, oh, like people can be tired of me going missing and coming back, or, you know, they can feel like they're being judged for starting their journey or maybe documenting for a while and then going missing and coming back. But I wrote this quote this week, or last week, the week just started. Anyway, I wrote this quote the other day. It says, I'd rather be known as the woman who kept starting over than the woman who quit. And it's like, when you look at fitness in the context of life, fitness, wellness, health, in the context of life, there is no end. When you get to that goal, you set another goal. When you get to that goal, you set another goal. And you look at it as, this is something I'm going to have to keep working on for the rest of my life, essentially, and working towards and adjusting. As I evolve as a person, my journey is going to evolve, and that's a beautiful thing. So there's no bad time, no wrong time, no perfect time. Just start where you are with what you have.
So you're saying I shouldn't feel bad about signing up for the Fitness Connection Transformation
No.
Challenge?
I was getting ready to plug
I would rather.
ready to plug that. But since Ethan mentioned it, if you're looking for the space to get that information, have that reason why to keep you motivated to go, guess what? It's the perfect time. The Fitness Connection is now taking on new members for our Transformation Challenge, where you have a chance to win $1,000, plus get the support, plus get discounts on your supplements, all for just $75 for 12 weeks. So 12 weeks, you can lock in, make that choice to make a difference in your health and fitness, and we'll be there to help support you along the way. Go to shopfitnessconnection.com. Thank you.
Yes, I can sign up. I signed up for the Fitness Connection Transformation
Yeah, I'd
Challenge.
rather be known as the person that signed up for every challenge
and never finish none.
than the person that quit.
No, Ethan, that's the point. No, we've been doing this now for almost 5 years now. And we have people who've been in it from the first one to the last one and tell them the same thing. The challenge doesn't end. It just keeps on going. Even if you get the results, you have to keep them.
Right.
We have people who, like, one came first and second, and then they come in and challenge of one or two cycles later, like, you sure you're the one who won? So like, you still got to maintain those results. Like Kel said, you still got to maintain that afterwards. So having that reason why and sticking with it, even if you fall off, getting back on, you don't lose until you quit.
And I think we underestimate the power of programs and challenges like that. Like the accountability and the community is a big part of fitness as well. And being able to actually be successful in working towards your goals. Like Miko said, like sometimes people need that. A lot of times we need that push. We'll break the promises to ourselves a lot less if we know that we have eyes watching and people to be accountable to. You look at elite athletes, bodybuilders, they all have coaches. Not saying they don't know what to do, but they need that accountability and that structure. And I think that's a big component for success in fitness too.
I love getting my messages on my Flex Squad app directly to my phone. And we have a challenge coming up.
We do. If you want to win, so sign up for the Transformation Challenge, Fitness Connection. You can win $1,000 there. And if you need help with your fitness programming, you need workouts, you need ideas for nutrition, sign up for the summer shift. This is for my ladies only.
Double down.
Summer Shift Challenge. We start on May 25th. You can win $500 there if you win. So you can take that $500 and that $1,000 and go shopping. Summer vacation.
Summer vacation. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. All right.
With your new body.
With your new body. Buy all the small clothes. Now, tonight wasn't about making you feel good. It was about making you feel something. The truth is, your health is not separate from your life. It is your life. It's the operating system underneath your career, your family, your purpose, and your future. You cannot out-earn, out-hustle, out-strategize a body that's constantly breaking down. Every excuse you make for your health is an excuse you're making for your potential. If anything we said tonight made you uncomfortable, that's the part you need to sit with. Comfort is what got you here. Truth is what's going to get you out. Tag someone who needs to hear this, and we'll see you on the next EQ Live.
Dun, 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 dun.